Hey there,
Good.
before we progress, just one quick thing. Between the end-to-end testing and the acceptance testing, right? You said end-to-end is something testers do, but then is acceptance something that developers do?
End-to-end testing team only will do.
Okay. And then acceptance?
Acceptance testing is so business people. So inside a product owner or your managers or senior test engineers who are very strong knowledge on the application, they will participate in the inside a company UAT testing also we call that.
Okay.
So that so the very product owners, business people, they will participate here inside the company UAT testing. So that we have a one separate UAT environment will be there. So that environment is almost similar to production environment. The configurations and everything and code will be deployed.
I think you were telling me the other day we had a diagram, so yeah, I got
Yeah.
it.
So I was telling this diagram, right? So
Yeah, the between the end and the actual like deployment, you
right,
said there's a UAT environment.
right. This one. This
Yeah,
pre-live is also called UAT.
UAT.
So these configurations and this configuration almost close. Okay, so basically all these environments configurations will be different. Maybe the RAM size, right? So hard disk size, that will be different. But the production is a very high volumes, high, so disk space, RAM size will be there because many people will use, right? So they have to support that.
Got
So
it.
that's
Thank you.
the, but all these are, so till alpha testing in our company side only will happen. And so end-to-end testers will do, system testing also testers will do, integration also testers will do, component testing also testers will do, unit testing developers will do. And UAT testing, the very senior test engineer, product owners will be participated here. And the development team also, one of the development team people also will participate here. Okay. So beta testing is outside completely our no company, not from company side. So outside people, customer side people. So they will test. So they will check how to use this application.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all about the different test levels. Now, so let's see the last one. Test plan. So what is the test plan and why do you need a test plan? What is the test plan template? What are all the things will be there? Who will prepare this test plan? As I mentioned already, test plan is prepared by QA manager. That means testing manager, okay? Testing manager or a senior test engineer or a maybe you can say a lead or some kind of person will be there, right? Who is having a good experience, right? Those people will prepare this test plan. But we are not the ones who are normal test engineers won't prepare this test plan. Okay. So what is mean by test plan? So a test plan is a document, okay? Basically a Word document. Or you can mention in the Confluence page somewhere, okay? So a document which describes the objectives of a testing, scope of the testing, so what methodologies you will follow, and what is the testing effort required. So all this will be mentioned in the test plan. So that's called test plan means. So test plan is very useful. So to check which product you are validating and what are the acceptance criteria you are following to validate this product will be mentioned in the test plan. So even you can understand by seeing this test plan, okay, even outside people also. But you are in the project, you can understand what you are testing. But outside people, I'm outside. I don't know what you are testing. But I can come and see your test plan and I can understand. Okay, what is the product? What are the features you are testing? Everything will be included in the test plan document. Okay. So, and also, so during test planning, so we can make sure understand the goals and objectives of the customers, stakeholders, and the project. So what are the project objectives and what customer is expecting, and any risks are there, and do we need to address them or not? All will be included in this test plan document. So that it will give you brief idea for the people. So that's the test plan purpose. So what kind of testing you are performing, what kind of methodologies you are following, and which testing types you are using, and who is testing, who are involved in the project, and when to start the testing, when to end the testing. All this will be included in this test plan document. Okay, so that's the main objective of a test plan. So what is a test policy and what is a test strategy? So test policy is it is going to give you rules for testing, how to test. So like you always need to review the design documents or test case documents. That's a rules. You have to follow the test policy. So it doesn't matter. You must follow that. That's very, very important.
Basically, certain ground rules for testing.
Yeah, basically rules for testing.
Mm-hmm.
A test strategy is so overall high level approach. So system testing is carried out by independent team, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what approach you are following, and you are going to report to the team, right? You are going to report to the team. So you will report to the manager, basically. All the independent team will report to the manager. One QA manager will be there. So that process they will set with a test strategy. The process is for the entire company, okay? But test plan is for particular project. For particular project. That's a test plan means. And so what are the test plan content will be there? So here I have given a very high level. You can see that even if you can remember this test plan content also, that's good enough. Okay. You can see here features to be tested. That means what is in scope. Like, example I have given sign up or sign in, forget password or delete account. These are in the scope. Features not to be tested. So edit account information, create multiple accounts. This is not in the scope. So this is the scope, which is in scope, which is not in the scope. Okay. What features you need to test, what features you don't want to test. Then what are the test levels and testing types you are going to use? Different test levels like system testing, acceptance testing, and testing types you have to use functional testing, usability testing, regression testing. You have to do that. Okay. So this is the one. And so what is the exit criteria? So testing is finished, and exit criteria means what you, as part of your testing, what you will give it. So that's what the exit criteria means. So testing is finished and there are no functional bugs. So you should finish the testing. All the test cases you should execute. And no functional bugs should exist. So you push them. All the bugs are fixed. So all remaining bugs have low severity. So that means if bugs are there, they are not that much important. Okay. It's not blocking any functionality. Only that case you can use this. So you can sign off. Otherwise, you should not sign off. No more than 10% of medium or severity bugs are open. So there is no functional bugs. First of all, it should not be available. Then only you can say it's a good for no release. Suspension criteria. So when you can tell this is not good for the release, critical bugs are open and they are blocking the testing, then you can suspend it. You can say that all remaining test cases are blocked by an open bug. That's a suspension criteria means. If any blocker bugs are there, any functional bugs are there, you can tell that. We cannot give a sign off because many test cases are blocked because of these bugs. So that you have to call out in the meetings. So what are the test deliverables? Your test cases is the main criteria. You have to give test cases to the customer. What test case you have written? So they will see that, right? Any bug report, test summary report. Test summary report means how many test cases you have executed, how many test cases passed, how many test cases failed. That's a summary report means. And also each test case pass fail criteria, you have to show that. That is called test log or test summary report also. You have to give all these documents to the customer. Then how do you know? So you completed testing. How do they will trust you? So if they want to trust, you have to show the proof you have tested it, right? So that you have to give in the document, the proof. These are the test cases I have executed, and this many are passed, this many are failed. In this iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3, these many iterations I have tested. These many environments we have tested. So environment wise, you have to maintain the test case log. So then test environment. So the test environment is QA, so staging environment, and now so different browsers and network. So whether it is working, all this and the environments like operating system, which browser, which environment, which network you are using, that's an environment also you have to give that. And estimation. So okay, sign up and sign in, how many hours you need, how many days you need to test it. Forget password, how many days. Delete account, how many days you need. So that's estimation is basically a scheduling. Basically, for your testing effort you are giving, that's estimations. Staffing and training. For example, you are a manual tester, right? And you need automation testing. So then they will train you. So they will train you about automation testing if you are only manual tester. So that's a staffing and training. Who is doing what? So they will mention that clearly. So any assumptions? So developers deliver the code related to the feature. So they have to back end, front end, they have to deliver the code. So any license required, they will mention. So test safer, you need a license. So like this. And any risks are there. So what are the different risks you can mention? And so still I have some of them didn't mention here, but you have to, the risks I will explain in detail. Okay, just to give me a few minutes. Test references. That means if you want to do a testing, what are the reference documents? User stories, design documents, all these are the reference documents for testing. And also risks. What are the risks? So risks are, for example, you have a critical bugs and they are not fixing on time. The development team is not fixing on time, so that you are losing the time, right? Release time is closer, but you got a very critical bugs and the development team is taking more time to fix them, then you are blocked. So you are losing the time. So then that's one risk you can tell that always. And another thing, so during testing time, your environment went down. So it's not coming up. So do you have any backup? So that's a risk is environment went down, and the mitigation and contingency. So there is a risk, contingency, and mitigation. Means risk is something environment went down. So mitigation is how you can reduce that. That maybe preparing alternative environment readily, backup. That's one thing. That's a mitigation. And contingency means alternative plan. So in advance, you should plan that. in advance, you should plan that. Okay, so and our third risk is, for example, one resource is leaving the company. Then how do you recover that? So you have to, what you need to do is you have to prepare a backup resource. So that's the mitigation plan. So the manager will prepare a shadow resource. One more person so also work with you who is having both persons having knowledge on that areas. So one person leaving, other person can take up. Or so there is no backup, and you have to recruit immediately a new person. And by the time this person, existing person leaves, you have to give a proper KT, and so then you can release the person, other person who is leaving the company. So these are all risk contingency and mitigation plans has to be done by the managers. So that's all the risks and contingency and mitigation plans. Here you can see all of them. So that I have given here already. So that one by one I explained. Okay. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll cover this later. If you have any doubts on this. This the test plan document is very important. Okay. And so what is the difference between test plan and test strategy? Last one, we'll finish this and we'll close here. A test plan for a software project can be defined as a document, just a document, which defines the objectives, scope, approach for software testing. And test strategy is a guidelines, a set of guidelines that explains the test design and how to perform the testing will be explained by test strategy document. So components of testing, test plan I already given, test plan ID, features to be tested, features not to be tested, testing techniques, testing tasks, feature pass or fail criteria, deliverables, responsibilities and schedules, and which methodologies you are following. All this will be mentioned in the test plan. And test strategy components are contents or components are objective, scope, documentation format, so testing process, so team reporting structure, client communication strategy. These are all part of test strategy. A test plan is carried out by a testing manager or a lead that describes how to test, when to test, who will test, and what to test. And test strategy is carried out by project manager. It says what type of technique to follow and which module to test. So that's a test strategy. Test plan narrates about the specification. Test strategy narrates about the general approach. Test plan can change project to project. Test strategy cannot be changed. It's a common for entire company. Okay. Test planning is done to find out the possible issues and dependencies in order to identify the risks. And it's a test strategy is a long-term action. You can abstract the information that is not project related. So test plan exists individually or individual project wise, but test strategy is often found in section of test plan sometimes. And the test plan is a project level. Test strategy is an organization level. Okay, so these are the another important interview question people used to ask: what is the difference between test plan and the test strategy? So please go through this. This is the very important. Okay, and mainly they will ask, what is test plan? Have you written the test plan? So you can say, I didn't write, but I know what are the contents in the test plan. I know in and out all the content. Just tell that and give all the content. So you explain each content, what is there in each content inside. Okay. So any questions here before closing?
So far so good.